Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Things Could Be Worse. I'm your host, baileydedrick, and today, I'm not even gonna lie, this might be kind of a shorter episode because I am in a big rush right now. I was gonna say sort of a rush, but I'm definitely in a rush. It's almost 5 p.m. and I have a nail appointment at 6 p.m. and then after that I have to go to Walmart and buy an air mattress that will somehow fit in the back of my car so that I can sleep in my car tonight at a campground. What? Like literally what? I'm excited, but I also am just like I love camping. Like I love the idea of camping. I'm really just jumping right in. I love the idea of camping, and like camping itself is so much fun, but just the sleeping situation alone, I am such a particular sleeper. Like I can't sleep comfortably anywhere. Like literally anywhere but my own bed. And it's like something that I hate about myself because so many people can just like go wherever and like, knock out, have a good night of rest, like anywhere. And I'm just not that person. So when I have to sleep in like a tent, or if I'm like sleeping on a ground or like an air mattress, it's usually not going to end well. It's going to end in me like literally not being able to sleep for more than 20 minutes the entire night because I just like sit there and I can't get comfy and I just end up thinking and not being able to fall asleep. So my friends are going camping for my friend Ella's birthday. That was yesterday. So today's Friday. A lot of my friends are going right now, like all of the girls are going right now, and they're gonna be there for like today and then tonight and then all day tomorrow, which is Saturday, and then we're sleeping there Saturday and then coming home Sunday morning. So I have a lot to do today, including record this podcast, and I had a nail appointment booked, so I'm actually driving up to wherever this campsite is at like 9 p.m. tonight. So I'm gonna get there at like 11 and it's gonna be so fun and so great. But everybody else is sleeping in tents, but I just like literally physically, metaphorically, and spiritually cannot fucking do that. So I came up with the genius idea to put an air mattress in the back of my Jeep because like it's pretty spacious back there. Unfortunately though, when I was looking up the dimensions of like the back of my car and like the dimensions of like air mattresses, I stumbled across these air mattresses that are made by this brand that are specifically made for the backs of Jeep Wranglers, and they like fit perfect because the back of a Jeep Wrangler has like a really weird shape, especially if you have like the newer one or like a newer one, because there's like a huge sub speaker in the back and it like comes out of the side really far. So whatever, this air mattress is like perfectly shaped for Jeeps, and I'm so sad that I didn't find it sooner because I would love to have that, but unfortunately I'm just gonna have to go buy a twin mattress and hope that I can make it work, So yeah, there's my little life update for right now. I'm going camping this weekend, and I think I'm going to try to vlog it just because I feel like I could get some sort of a fun vlog out of it. We'll see what happens with that. After my nail appointment, I have to go to Walmart and buy an air mattress and buy like snacks and stuff to bring. So yeah. If you guys haven't already, please rate and review the pod. Subscribe to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the socials. It's Things Could Be Worse Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And I would really appreciate if you guys would do those things for me. Now let's get into what this episode is all about. What does Bailey film? What does Bailey record when she's in a little bit of a rush and she has no other ideas of what to talk about on a podcast? You guessed it. You also saw the title, Girl Talk. We're bringing it back. We're doing another Girl Talk. I believe this is Girl Talk number 3. And I'm kind of worried that I'm like overdoing it. But then at the same time, I get so many DMs, so many comments just telling me to keep doing more Girl Talks. It's like, what do you guys want to see? Girl Talk. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, let me do another Girl Talk. In the beginning, I kind of said that I was going to do like a monthly Girl Talk segment or like a once every 2 months. And I feel like so far, I haven't been doing like too many. Let me know if there's like a good rate. If you want me to like slow down on them or do more of them, let me know, because I'm definitely open to really whatever whatever you guys want to hear, I'm down for. But yeah, today we're going to be doing a girl talk, and it's going to be a sort of a shorter one, like I said, but hopefully I can give you guys some good advice, answer some questions, and I don't know, just get open and honest with y'all. Also, I want to apologize if things on these girl talks, like the topics I talk about, are like ever reoccurring. It's really hard to not cover things multiple times when people are asking me like the same question or like the same type of question or like regarding the same topic like over and over and over, and I want to like answer it, and I always answer it in like different ways and give different, you know, insights and stuff, but I just want to be like, sorry if I talk about something that I've already talked about, but I'm trying really hard to not, but it's really hard to remember everything that I've already talked about. But first one is, when did you get your period? I'm a freshman in high school and I still haven't. So something really weird happened to me in like 8th grade. I got my period, but I got it once. Like literally one time, and it was like really, really light. Like I fully like thought that I started my period, but then like I had my period for like a few days and then I never got it again. Like months and months went by and I didn't get it again, and I was like, holy shit, what? So keep in mind, I am very like small. Like I'm a very small person. I have a very low body fat percentage. Like I don't know, like I've always been super, super tiny. And also like I was kind of a late bloomer. Like I went through puberty like when I was into high school, like where most girls were like hitting puberty in like middle school and even before that. So I was a late bloomer, but I got my period one time in 8th grade, and then I didn't get it again until like, I don't know, like fall of my freshman year. So, I don't know. I think it's normal. I think anything, like some people get their period as late as like 17 years old. I know it can kind of feel weird and like it's almost like you're like left out of something that everybody else like knows about. Like if all of your friends have their periods and like you're the one that doesn't. I know it can feel like kind of strange and like kind of, I don't even know, like polarizing. Is that the right word? Polarizing? I don't fucking know. I don't know. It can just feel like you're kind of like the odd one out, and I totally get that feeling. But at the end of the day, periods suck, and you need to realize that the later you get the later you get your period, the better, because that's less dealing with cramps, that's less dealing with fucking anger issues, mood swings, emotions going through the roof. Periods suck. Everything to do with a period sucks. So just be grateful, honestly, even though it might kind of be hard to like see it that way. You'll get your period eventually, I'm sure, and everything will be good. But for now, just enjoy not having your period. Okay, next question is, how do you know when you might have a future with your boyfriend? Do you think you have one with yours? Ooh, okay, this is a really like hard question to talk about, because I feel like anything that I say could maybe be like misconstrued and like twisted into like a way that I don't want it to come out. But basically, I think, you know, there's so much in the world, like in movies and TV shows, and just like even what people say from personal experiences, like you'll know when you know, or like you'll know when you find the one, like you'll just know it. And then it's like, what if that doesn't happen? Like what if I'm not like, oh yeah, this is it? Like what if I have some doubts, or what if I have some like realistic questions that I'm asking myself? Like what happens then? Like is that not the one because like I don't like know that he's the one? But I feel like that can be really tricky, because yeah, you might stumble across somebody in your life and you're like, yep, he is the one, he is the one. And like, although I feel that with my boyfriend, it's also really hard because we're so young, and it's like, this was my first relationship, so I'm very realistic about it. Like, you know, the chances of us starting dating when we're 14 and 16, how old were we? I think it was 15. I think 14 and 15 when we like actually got together. The chances of that lasting to like a long, healthy, happy marriage for the rest of our lives is like, it's a very small percentage. I think it's like high school sweethearts or whatever are like less than a 2% chance of like actually working out. And, you know, it happens, but it also like is not common. So I feel like because I know that, and because so many people like have told me that it's not gonna work, like it's not gonna last, like that's kind of fucked up, but like I've heard people say that, and like people will like make little comments, like older people, like, you know, even parents and stuff, they'll make little comments, and it's just like, you know, because of that, I have like I have a realistic outlook on it, because it's like, yes, like right now how our relationship is and like the way that we like work together and like our dynamic, like I truly feel like it could like last forever. I hate saying it. Like I hate saying it because then it feels like I'm jinxing it. It feels like I'm being unrealistic, and then I'm setting my expectations too high, and I feel stupid. But like I would love to marry this kid, right? I would love to. And I don't know, like when I see my future, I see him in it. You know what I mean? So there's that whole side. It's very fucking tricky. It's like I feel like when you're young, it's so hard to just like know, because there's so many other factors and there's so many more people you're going to meet and there's so many more things you're going to do and experience, and it's just like, holy shit, like what do I know? You know what I mean? I feel like there's so many things that play into it, and there isn't a for sure way to know. Like obviously we see the fucking divorce rate. Like people might think they know, and then 10 years later they don't know anymore, and like they're fucking their boss, you know? So it's like I don't even know what to say. I think the best thing to do is like kind of what I've done, and just like really think about where you want to be in the next, I don't know how old you are, but like whenever you're in that relationship and you're wondering, close your eyes and think about where you want to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Like, what are your big life goals? Where do you want to live ideally? What is your career? What are you doing? Do you want pets? Do you want kids in 10 years? Like, what is your vibe? And then you need to, like, if you picture your future and you're not picturing them in it, then obviously no, like there's no future there. But if you can like see this person, like playing in the yard with your dog or some shit that doesn't even exist yet, I feel like that's kind of, you know what I mean? Like if you can actually realistically be like, okay, like I can see myself in 10 years with this person doing like super mundane, like, I don't know, like living together, like bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's tricky, but you need to be able to actually picture yourself with them, and not just this like rose tinted bullshit. Like, oh yeah, I love them so much. Like we're perfect. Like, are you really? Are you really? Because nobody's perfect. So yeah, this is a really hard question. I feel like I'm going nowhere and I'm just talking myself into circles. It's tricky, but I definitely do see a future with my boyfriend, and I hope to God that there is, but I'm also very realistic, and I know that things change and we're still growing up. Like, I might be a completely different person in 2 years, and same with him. Like we might grow in different directions, and that's okay, I guess, but it's really not, because like I want to last. So we'll just see. That's all we can do is keep working on our relationship together, and we'll see. And hopefully things work out. Okay, next question is how to deal with losing a friend. Losing friends is such a common thing, and I honestly stick by saying that losing a friend, like a good close friend, or like going through a friendship breakup is worse than going through a breakup with a boy or a girl or whatever. Having close friends is so important, and you can love your friends like almost as deeply as you love your fucking family. Like you can love your friends even deeper than you love your family in some cases. So losing friends is really difficult, and I've definitely lost my fair share of friends over the years, and like some of them were like big friendship breakups where like a huge event took place, there was a huge fight, and then we were just like done. Some friends that I've lost have just kind of fizzled out, like the friendship has just like fizzled out over the years, and although those ones hurt less because it's kind of like a slow process, I still think about those friends that I had in like middle school and like the beginning of high school, and it might seem like, oh, like your middle school friendships, were they all really that deep? But like, yes, because I was in like literally the darkest place of my entire life in middle school, and the friends that I had back then and the friends that were around me during those times, like they truly like helped me through that part of my life. Like I wouldn't have been okay without them. I wouldn't have made it out of what I made it out of, I don't think. So like those friends really did change my life, and I'm so grateful for them, and I still love them so much even though we don't see each other and we don't really talk anymore. But how to deal with losing a friend. I think it's really important to know in your life when it's time to cut somebody off, or when it's time to stop being friends with somebody, or when it's time to stop associating with somebody. Oh, okay, my dad's opening the garage right now. And it's very loud. It's gonna shut soon, so I should probably wait. But whatever. It's very important to know when to cut ties with somebody, because it can be a very tricky thing to realize. But at the end of the day, like, losing friends isn't always a bad thing. And I don't know the situation. Like, I don't know if you're the one that initiated it or if they were, or it just kind of happened or what. I think that making new friends is truly the only way to get past it, because if you're just like, dwelling on the fact that you lost this person and you're just like sitting at your house, like not doing anything, going on Snapchat, looking at what they're doing, like posting with their new friends or like posting with your old friends or whatever the case may be, it's really fucking hard. Like, you need to actively, I don't care how like sad you feel or how like, I don't know, like, it can feel really shitty. Like, you just are sitting there and it feels like I literally don't know the situation. It's really hard not knowing the situation. I'm kind of feeling like they were the ones that initiated it, but also I could be totally wrong. I don't know. It's very important to not just like sit at home and be like, all right, I lost my friend, like my best friend, and I'm never gonna have that relationship again or that type of relationship and like whatever, just sit at home and do nothing. That's like literally the worst thing you can do. Like, when you're going through something, when you're losing anybody, it's so important to go out there and not like fill the void of them, but just like almost distract yourself with people that also bring you joy and happiness. And it might not be friends that you're as close with as you were with this person, or the greatest people ever, but if it's something to just distract you until you can actually like heal from losing this person, I feel like that's like the best thing that you can do. Just try your hardest to stay occupied and stay around people that make you feel good, and actively look for new friends, because you can never make too many friends. I literally, like, that is my biggest tip. Like, make as many friends as you can and have as many different friend groups and have as many, I know it's tricky and I know it's not easy for a lot of people to make friends. It's not really easy for me to make friends either, but like, I just mean talking to people. Like, have people that you can just like hit up and be like, hey, I know we don't really hang out, but do you want to go do this? Like, do more of that, and I think it will really help through this time. But I'm sorry that you're going through this, whatever the situation is. I know it sucks, but friends come and go, and it's normal, even though it sucks. And I hope that everything works out how it's supposed to be. Okay, next question is, how do you deal with the expectations and dreams others have for you? This is really tricky. I've been blessed with like really supportive parents that have never really like pressured me into doing anything that I didn't want to do. From a really young age, I kind of like played the sport. Like, my parents put me in like every single sport, and then like they let me quit the ones that I didn't like. I continued playing like softball and basketball, and like those were the ones that I liked like throughout my childhood. And then I don't know, like with sports and with other things, like they've always really like trying to just let me do what I want, which is like a really good thing, and I'm so appreciative of that. And then going with that, I feel like whatever, path I would decide to take in life, like they're going to fully support me, and I feel like that's the best thing that you can do as a parent. But I know that that's not how everybody's parents and family is, and there's a lot of people that deal with these huge pressures and expectations from their parents and their family members and other people in their life to go to a certain college or get certain grades or come out into the medical field or a certain career path. And like it's a lot of pressure, and it can be really difficult, like living your life what seems like for other people. I know that this type of thing can really like drive a wedge between families and between parents and kids, and I know it sucks, but at the end of the day, I don't really know how to give advice on this, because like I said, like my parents have never like been like this. But I think that at the end of the day, it's your life and it's your future, and this career that you're choosing, or this, school that you're going to, or this sport that you're playing or choosing not to play, even though your parents want you to play it. Like, I think that you really need to do what you want, even if that means disappointing your parents in some type of way. It isn't worth it. Like, let me lay it out for you. This is going to be really fucking dark. I'm not going to lie. Let me lay it out. So your parents pressure you and set these expectations for you to go to, obviously this is a stretch, but we're just going to be very dramatic here. Your parents want you to go to Harvard. You need to go to Harvard, and if you don't get in, you're a disappointment. So say you get into Harvard. You work your ass off throughout high school, throughout literally middle school. like throughout your entire life to get into Harvard. You get into Harvard and you come out and you're working as a fucking brain surgeon, right? Because your parents want you to, because that's what your family expected you to do. And now you're working as a brain surgeon, you know, you're living the lavish life, you're making good money, you have a good family, whatever, things are going good, but then like your parents die. Your parents die and you're a brain surgeon and you don't even fucking want to be a brain surgeon. And now what the fuck are you, like, don't do, your parents are going to die. Everybody else is going to die. We're all going to die. So do what makes you happy. That was literally such a dark analogy, but I think that's true. Like, what if your parents, like they're going to die? And I love my parents, but like, my life is my life. And I even used to say, like, I wanted to have kids early because my parents are older and I want them to be able to, like, be grandparents to my kids for as long as possible. But it's like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Like, it's my life. It's not my parents' life. Like, I don't need to give them grandkids just because they might want grandkids before they're fucking 90 years old. But like, it's my life. If I don't want kids, I'm not having kids just because, you know, it would be more, you know, convenient, I guess. I don't know. It's really difficult and I know it can drive a wedge, and I know if you don't live up to expectations, it can literally like ruin your relationship with them, which is so fucked up. And I'm so sorry if you guys are dealing with having parents like that, because, you know, they love you and they want what's best for you, and in their eyes that is just, you know, the way that it is and the way that it's just the way of life, and that's how their parents probably raised them, and now they're raising you the same way. But I truly wish that everybody's parents would just support them for whatever they want to do, and, you know, whatever they decide to endure in life. Like, I think, I don't know, we're all living our own life and we should all be the main characters in our own lives. Your parents shouldn't be the main character in your life. Even if you're fucking 15 years old, you still deserve to be the main character in your own life, you know? So live your life, do what makes you happy, find things that bring you happiness and that fill you up inside, and things that you're passionate about. Because if you're just living your life for your parents, or you're living your life for other people or the way that other people view you, you're never going to be happy. Woo! Sorry about that one. That one was a little deep, a little bit unexpected. Let's get into like a lighter one, maybe like a lighter topic. Okay, so these are all pretty dark. No, I'm kidding. Okay, the next question actually is not lighthearted at all, but it kind of goes with the last one I just answered, and I don't feel like I've ever talked about this in like reference to myself before, so I really want to answer it. It says, do you ever struggle with meeting previous expectations that you set for yourself as a female / YouTuber, or like plus YouTuber ? I feel like I haven't really set a lot of expectations for myself in terms of like being a female. I don't know why being a female has anything to do with it. Like, I have expectations that I've set for myself, like individually as a person, but like, I don't know, as a female, I guess like you could be referring to like boys or, you know, like life goals and stuff. Not really, honestly. I think that there's always like there's always troubles when you're setting too many expectations for yourself, or you're setting unrealistic expectations for yourself. I'm going to share a quote with you guys in a second that I'm actually getting tattooed onto my body in September. But when it comes to expectations as me as a YouTuber, absolutely. I have struggled so much with meeting these expectations that I've just set for myself in my head, or set for myself like subconsciously. Like, I don't even actively set expectations for myself. Like, it's not like I sit down and be like, okay, what do I expect myself to do in the next year? It's like, what do I want to do? Or like, what would I love to do? And when those things don't necessarily happen, or they don't happen as quickly as I want them to, it's really defeating, because I have put so much into what I do, whether it's YouTube, the podcast, even like TikTok, Instagram, whatever I do on social media. I have put literally so much time, thought, effort, and work into it. I'm only 18 years old and I have been doing YouTube for 8 years, which is literally insane. That's like almost half of my life. I've been doing YouTube. Like, that is so crazy to think about, and I don't think people realize it. Like, they've always known me as like doing YouTube and social media and stuff, but I don't think anybody really thinks about how fucking insane that is. I just graduated high school, and I've been working at like my lifelong career goal since I was 10 years old. Like, what? How is that even fucking possible? Like, I'm sorry, I'm so confused. Whenever I think about it like that, it's crazy. But I've put so much into it, like, over the years, and I do have so many expectations for myself, and I'm honestly going to say that things haven't gone completely as planned, and like, I love what I'm doing now, but I'm not fully happy with like the content that I'm creating and the point in my life at which I'm at in regards to like YouTube and social media. I'm kind of really trying to focus on my personal life right now and my friends and my family, and really just like soak in these last few months before like my friends go to college, because I don't know, like, this truly is like the last, I don't know, there's just like it's just, I'm really trying to live in the present and be like very, very active in like my personal life. So I have kind of taken a little step back from like, you know, being exactly what I want online, I guess, in a way, or like creating the content that I want to make, because I don't know, my whole goal with, you know, my whole expectation that I've set for myself over the last couple of years in regards to YouTube and social media is that I'm going to travel, and I'm going to kind of be like a travel vlogger for like a year, and, you know, visit super cool places that I've never been to before, and be active on like TikTok and do like TikTok series of like me traveling, and you know what I ate in Mykonos, what I ate in fucking Spain, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just different. There's just so many ideas that I've had, and so many things that I've planned and that I've thought about for like the last couple of years. And now that it's like finally here, and I'm like not actively actually like doing those things, or like I'm not setting those things up or like making plans, it's definitely like I'm struggling a little, just because I don't know what I thought. Like, I knew it wasn't going to just like fall into my lap. Like, obviously if I'm going to Mykonos, like, I have to book a flight, I have to book a place to stay, like, there's work you have to put into, but it just came so quickly that I don't even like want to leave right now. Like, I don't know, it's really hard. But there's so many more things that I want to do, and there's so many expectations that I've set for myself. But I think it's really important to be very realistic with your expectations and not be too hard on yourself. Expectations are just goals. We should stop calling them expectations. We just should call them goals. And you never put a time limit on an expectation. You never put a time limit on a goal. Obviously, if you're working towards something like big, like say, you know, your goal is to, in my case, post a YouTube video every single week at the same time, at the same day, whatever, like, that's my goal, that you can put like a time on. But if it's just like a super unspecific goal, you can't put a time on it unless you're doing all the other like specifics. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, so the little quote that I wanted to share with you guys is actually the Buddhist second noble truth. I am not Buddhist. I don't honestly really follow any religion really closely, but if I had to like put my name on something, like, my family is Christian, I guess, but we're really not religious people whatsoever. So little backstory, when I was in 8th grade, I took a class, it was called Global Studies, and you basically learned about different cultures and different religions and different parts of the world and how people do things differently. You know, global studies, we're studying the globe and different things that happen around the globe. And we did like a deep dive into the different religions, and we really learned a lot about each one. And the religion that kind of resonated with me the most at the end of this unit was Buddhism. I don't know, like, I really felt something when I like learned about the way that they live their life and the way that they view life. I'm not gonna like get into all of that, but yeah. So we learned all about the different noble truths, and the second noble truth really, really resonated with me. And this was back in 8th grade, you guys. And I have not like not like I've not forgot about it. I keep thinking about it. Ever since I learned about this, it's something that I think about every single day. And it's because I truly believe this, and I think that it's like very validating, and I think it's like a really good way to look at life. But basically the second noble truth deals with, why Buddha believes that humanity deals with suffering, why we feel emotional pain, and it's all to do with the fact that suffering is the result of craving and desire and ignorance and expectation. So I'm getting a tattoo in September, actually September 1st, and it's going to say, I haven't decided if I want to do desire or expectation yet. It kind of is like what looks better. I like expectation, but we'll see. I don't know. So it's going to say the root of all suffering is desire, or the root of all suffering is expectation. So basically what this tattoo represents for me is that you are going to set yourself up for a life of suffering and emotional pain if you never stop craving bigger, better, newer things. If you are always, desiring more and you're never happy with what you have, you're always going to be suffering. You're never going to be happy if you're always trying to get more and do more. And I think my dad kind of doesn't like this idea, because he's like, you should always be striving for bigger, better. Like, you should always be working for more. Like, you should never be content. But also at the same time, I truly don't think that's the way you live a happy life. I think it's, it can be great, and I truly, like, the person that I am, like, I am always going to be, at the end of the day, like, striving to do better. It's more just like, J. Cole's song, Love Yours, there's always going to be somebody with a bigger house. There's always going to be somebody with a hotter husband. There's always going to be somebody with more money and a nicer boat, or whatever the fuck. There's always going to be somebody that's better than you in whatever you're doing in your life. There's always somebody that's better than you, and you're never going to be happy until you love yours. Like, your life, you're never going to be happy until you're content and you love yours. So that's the way that I view it. I don't look at it as like a or not like a degrading, but like a uninspiring thing. Like, my dad kind of was like, whoa, doesn't that like mean that you're just like complacent? But no, it's not. It's just the idea that, like, I'm never going to be happy if I'm never happy with what I have. So that's what that tattoo means. And I think that's a really good way to look at setting expectations and stuff. Obviously, it's amazing, and it's so encouraged. Like, I encourage you to do your best in whatever you're going to do, and like to find your passion and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you need to find happiness before anything else. So yeah. That was so long-winded. I low-key need to leave soon, you guys. Let's do a few more. Next one is how to grow your relationship with your parents and gain their trust. Please, please, please. So I've always had like a good relationship with my parents. I honestly feel like I don't have a very close like emotional relationship with my parents. Like, I don't like talk to my parents really like about like everything that's going on in my life and stuff, which I wish I kind of did more. But I've always had a good relationship with my parents, and I feel like there's always been like mutual understanding and like mutual trust there, and like mutual respect, I guess. And I think I just have really great parents. Like, I am so blessed to have the parents that I have, and they've made it so easy for me to like do the things that I want to do, but still know that I have like them there to like support me. So I don't know, I'm so blessed to have the parents that I have. My voice is like getting raspy from talking so much. But basically, I think a way that you can get closer with your parents and gain more trust is to have open and honest conversations about things with them. I don't think that you're ever going to get to a place where you have a close relationship with them, or like a good trusting relationship, if you aren't honest with them about pretty much everything. Like, if they ask you questions, be honest, don't lie to them, and try to like open up on more of like a friend level. It's probably easier with like your mom than your dad, or like, I don't know, vice versa. I don't know, like, at least for me, like, I talk to my mom probably more about like deep shit than I talk to my dad about. I don't know. But like just having conversations about like what's going on in your life, like fill them in on like your friends and, you know, people that you're, you know, talking to. I don't know, like I think that it's really important to be super transparent and be honest with them and tell them when there's a party that you want to go to instead of just lying and saying that you're going to a friend's house and there isn't a party. Like be open and honest, because I think that's how you ultimately gain trust. They're never going to trust you if you aren't able to talk about these things like openly, I guess. And like my whole thing is like with my parents, like whenever I was, you know, going to a party or whatever, like they, you know, would let me go. And as we've learned from the last episode, some parties didn't go as planned and sometimes bad things happened. But like my parents let me make my own mistakes. And the way that, I don't know, they raised me into being like a very smart person, and they knew that. And I'm not saying that you're not a smart person, but I'm just saying like, I don't know, like I just have always known how to like handle myself in terms of like everything. Like I've been very independent, and I've been not like on my own like physically, but I feel like for mentally I've been on my own for a very long time, and that isn't meant to be like sad, but it's just like how I live my life. So I think that my parents kind of just let me like make my own mistakes, and through that and like through talking to them about these mistakes that I've made, and you know, talking about the things that I've learned and talking about the cool things that I've done and like the mistakes that I didn't make, I think we've gotten a lot closer and there's been a lot more trust. But yeah, I feel like just being honest is really the only way that you're going to gain trust. And this goes for not even just with your parents, but with friends and relationships and stuff. The more that you talk openly, the closer that your relationship's going to get. Somebody asked if I shave my arms. I have before. I have really thin, like light blonde hair, so there really isn't a reason for me to shave my arms, but I have shaved them, and I'll say that they like didn't grow back more thick or more dark or whatever some people like to say will happen. I think that it can appear like thicker or darker because you have like a stubble when it grows back. I don't recommend shaving your arms. I would say like if you have like really thick arm hair and you don't like it, to trim it, to get like one of those little, like there's like little facial like trimmer things, and you can like trim your arm hair, or using like Nair or like waxing, I feel like would be the better option than shaving, just because like you don't want your arms to be stubbly. I know a lot of people do shave their arms, and there's nothing wrong with it, like I said, but I feel like not for me, like I don't really need to, but like the better option in my eyes would be to use like a Nair cream or waxing or something, just because wax or shaving seems like a lot of work and it doesn't seem worth it for how fast like shaving grows back. Yeah. Opinions of best friends turn to lovers. This low-key happened to me, and I definitely think, actually, we weren't even like best friends. Like, honestly, I've said that, like, me and my boyfriend Leo, we were like best friends before we started dating, but we weren't even best friends. Like, we were really good friends. I don't think we were best friends. Like, I've had best friends. Like, best friends are people you share everything with and you talk to about everything. And I just wasn't like that before we started dating. I mean, obviously now he's my best friend. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it can be very damaging, and I think it's the worst thing that you could ever do or the best thing. There's one or the other. It's either the best thing you ever do and you guys work out and you guys have an amazing relationship and it's perfect, it's exactly how it's supposed to be, or you try it out, it doesn't work out, and then you lose a best friend through the breakup because you're no longer able to have that relationship that you had before because dating ruined it. So I think if you and your best friend are in this position and you guys feel like you're starting to catch feelings, or you have feelings, or whatever the case may be, you need to be incredibly careful. I guess I could just say careful. Incredibly careful, incredibly like realistic, and like very like take things incredibly slow. I think it's really important to just take things very, very slow and not just jump into a relationship because, you know, it seems like the good, smart thing to do because you guys like both like each other, whatever. I think take things very slow. I think be very realistic and have very clear conversations and like get like, you know, if we get together and this doesn't work out, like, are we going to be able to get through it and become friends again afterwards, or no? Like, you know, really lay out the pros and cons and have conversations with them. Because if you just like jump into a relationship, have no conversation, and it ends badly, you're probably going to lose that person forever. So you need to figure out if that's something that you're willing to do if things don't end up working out. Okay, the last thing I'm going to answer, I feel like this wasn't a very girly episode. Like, I feel like it was girly, and I know most of my listeners are girls, so every talk is kind of a girly talk. But I feel like I didn't answer a lot of like girly personal questions, but just like personal, like good, hard-hitting questions, which I feel like is good because I feel like there's only so many questions in regarding to like periods and sex and, you know, hygiene products and shaving and stuff like that. So I feel like this episode, I actually like really like it, and I really like the questions I got. But the question that I'm going to end off on today is, what is something you would say to your younger self? There's so many things that I wish I could sit down and talk to my younger self about. And, you know, there's the cliches, like there's so many cliches, and what I'm about to say, like the actual thing that I would say to myself is cliche. But hear me out. Actually, I wanted to go like cliches like, you know, don't care what anybody thinks about you. Like, genuinely do not give a fuck about anything except making yourself happy and living the life that you want to live. There's things like that, or like, you know, people that are mean to you, like, don't matter. Like, there's so much shit that I would say. Like, there's so many important things, but I feel like the most important thing that I would say to myself, which is totally a cliche, is like genuinely take things slow. Like, if there was a way to get that through my head, like even when I was younger, like even right now, it's like I want to take things slow and I want to enjoy every moment. And it feels like no matter how hard I try to take things slow and enjoy every moment, it still just like passes by too quickly, and I'm growing up too quickly, and everything feels like it's happening too quickly. Even when I try to like stop and, you know, live in the present and enjoy it more, I feel like it's still just flying the fuck by. But I feel like when I was younger, I was always just waiting for my next birthday. When I was 14, I wanted to be 15 and a half so that I could have my temps and drive around. When I was 15 and a half, I wanted to be 16 so I could get my license. And when I was 16, you know, I didn't really want to be 17, but 17 feels so much older than 16 for some reason. And then when you're 17, you need to be 18 so that you can be an adult. But then when you're 18, you actually can't even do anything cool. Like, there's nothing that you get from being 18 besides what? Buying a lottery ticket. So then you want to be 21 so that you can go drink and go to the bars and have fun. But like, it's an endless fucking cycle. Your entire childhood, you just want to be older. And some girl, oh my God, I wish that I knew her name, or I wish I followed her, because it was like literally the most beautiful like spoken poetry I've ever heard. It was so good. But it was about that same thing. And it's like about growing up. Like, when you're younger, you just want to grow up fast and you want to get older and older. And then when you're older, it's like, oh shit, like I don't want to keep getting older now. Like, I want to be here. And then you look back and you realize you didn't enjoy your youth, and you didn't enjoy your past as much as you should have or could have. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people go through. And I think if you're young, I know it's like, it's hard, and you like, I get it. Like, everybody wants to grow up. Like, when you're like 14, you want to be, you know, you want to be a senior, or like you can't wait to be older. But like, you are living in like the best years of your fucking life right now. Not actually, like, your childhood into high school fucking sucks. Like, I'm gonna be open and honest, but looking back on it, you are gonna want your childhood to be the best that it possibly could have been. So I don't know, just enjoy it and take things slow and realize that there is no rush. You know, things happen quicker than you could ever imagine. One day you're fucking 14 and the next day you're getting married. Like, I feel like I started high school last year and I'm like done with high school. I've been graduated for like 6 months. Like, I don't understand how any of this is real life, but things like, you feel like you're waiting and waiting for so long, and then one day it kind of hits you and you're like, holy shit, like, where did all the time go? Like, how am I like supposed to be an adult right now? And like, I don't even remember the last 10 years of my life. So biggest piece of advice to anybody that's currently younger, or anybody in general, but something that I would say to my younger self, is to like actually prioritize focusing on enjoying every single moment of every single day and finding good no matter how bad your day is, finding little good things that made it good or that, you know, sparked a little bit of joy, even if it was just for a second. Like, find those things, focus on the little things. It's because those really are the things. Like, the little things are the things that matter, and you need to be able to soak in all of those things and just live your life in the present and stop trying to grow up so fast. That is it for the questions today, you guys. I'm sorry if it was short. I literally need to leave for my nail appointment right now, but I love you guys so much and I appreciate you more than you know. I'm currently on Threads now, IG Threads. I am planning on making an account for the podcast, but right now, I don't know if by the time you're listening to this, I've made an account for the podcast. Maybe if I did, it's just called Things Could Be Worse Pod. But go follow me on Threads at baileydedrick because I have been loving it. I literally was like, when I first saw what it was and like saw that it was a thing, I was like, this is literally the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, this is gonna die off in like a week and nobody's gonna like it and whatever. Like, you're just trying to be Twitter. And then I got on it and I've never been a fan of Twitter. I think that Twitter is the funniest place ever if you find the right people to follow. And don't get me wrong, I've definitely found a lot of funny people and like Twitter is a fun place for me, but also like sometimes I'll be scrolling and I'll see somebody get like shot in the fucking head and it's like, okay, so like I didn't follow that account at all. So I kind of like stopped going on Twitter because I just kept seeing a lot of things that I didn't want to see and like things that like weren't funny. And I feel like Twitter is just like a lot of news and whatever. Like, I don't know, you can really like curate your Twitter to be exactly how you want it. But with that being said, it's still confusing. Like, the way that Twitter is set up is not my favorite. And the way that the Threads app is set up is so easy and like so like straightforward and like, I don't know, it's just like refreshing over there. And everybody's like so funny and like just like talking to each other. It feels like a big group chat with like everybody that you follow on Instagram. It's crazy. But I love you guys. And I will see you, or I will hear you, or I will talk to you. Why do I always say that? I will talk to you in the next episode, next Wednesday, every single Wednesday, every Wednesday for the rest of my life. JK, probably not. But I love you. Okay, bye.